Hi, welcome to Wednesday Winos. It's hump day and we're celebrating all things wine, beers, and all things delicious and beautiful from Victoria. And why should we do it alone? So if you don't know me, my name is Rebecca. I'm from Kangaroo Ridge Retreat and I'm here with
Hanna from Watts River Brewing, and we're delighted to introduce Dan from Dainton.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, I turned up.
Yay!
So this is our 8th week of Wednesday Winos, and I just wanted to send a special thank you and a shout out to Craig, who was on our show last week from Cedar Fox Distilling Company, and we had a great time learning about gin and all things distilling, so that was exciting. So as we're waiting for people to come online and join us on the chat show, let us know what you're drinking and where you are located because, yeah, we want to join in together. So, yeah, over to you, Hanna.
Right. So we're listening in the intro to Nick Carver and the Mean Street Butchers, who we're having on live music this Friday at 6 p.m. And so today we're tasting Dan's beers. We've got 2 Neepers, a Pandemic Punch and Blood Orange. I've cracked my Pandemic Punch because I'm thirsty already. And part of the reason why we're promoting it is, apart from being mates with the awesome guys at Dainton, we've got those 2 beers featured in our mates case, which you can buy online. So yeah, Dan, we're going to taste the Pandemic Punch.
Cool.
Do you want to tell us about the beer, or maybe the brewery and the beer?
Yeah, sure. Look, I'll let you guys taste the beer because let me know how it goes. I'll get to why I'm not having one right in a second. But yeah, so a little bit about Dainton. We started 2013 sort of. I started gypsy brewing after brewing at Holgate and James Squire, and look, it's been a fairly long 7 years, but about 4 years ago now, we started our production facility in Carrum Downs. Since then, we've won Champion Australian Craft Beer 2 out of the last 3 years. So we like to think we're making good beers. We try to make yummy beer. I know it sounds weird, but I don't know if everybody always does if I look at some other products out there. So anyway, but look, we're probably known as a bit of an experimental brewery, but look, we're all home brewers and we're all, really probably more excited about trying to get our craft as best as we can. And we think with our current lineup, we're really hitting some, slightly weird, but, a Blood Orange New England IPA, that's our biggest selling beer. Yeah, by a long way.
Wow.
And then our hazy IPA, which is similar but different. Our Jungle Juice is sort of number 2 after that. So
what style's the Jungle Juice?
It was based on a West Coast IPA, so quite sort of dry, clean bitterness, and then I'm pretty sure it was meant to be really clear the first time. Cam forgot to put kettle findings into the brew. So if you know what that means, basically the beer came out pretty cloudy. And I was like, well, people like hazy, mate, so let's just change the
Yeah, no, that's true. So tell us what went into the Pandemic Punch.
Yeah, I was just having a look at a little spreadsheet here because we had quite a few. So the idea behind this beer anyway was we had about 400 kegs that we had brewed and had just gone out to some bars. Some was at a warehouse, and we're going to do nothing with them. They're just going to sort of sit there, and we're like, well, can we do anything with them? Some were like, nah, we probably won't do much with that. But we had a bunch of fresh ones. And we thought, well, maybe there's some way we can blend them. And we started looking into whether it was possible. We were really mindful of the process and making sure that it was done with basically minimal oxygen pickup, which would stale the beer. That was my big concern. And we gave it a test run and we could. So we had a look at the stock levels and kind of looked at the styles and thought, well, there's probably two different types of beers here we can make, and one being that NEPA. So I'll just have a quick look, and I'll actually use some real facts instead of me just making something up. What have we got in there? Okay, so there is some of the Jungle Juice. There is a double IPA. There is some of our Mimosa, which was a brute blood orange kind of IPA. Some of our Fruity Freeze, which is a very big NEPA. And I think we got some of the Wonderland, which is kind of like a white chocolate NEPA in there as well. So you might pick up a little bit of chocolate sort of in the back of the palate. So, yeah, quite a few different ones in there.
So we've got Marco on the feed at the moment. And he's drinking the pandemic punch. What do you think about it, Marco? Let us know in the comments. Yeah.
So did you do anything after blending, Dan, or was it a simple blend of your orphans?
Yeah, a very simple blend. So it was about trying to, really. If I'm really honest, it was about trying to use up a bunch of kegs, but it was also trying to make a decent beer too. So.
I think that's called smart business, Dan.
Well, look, there's a little bit of that in there. And I think, look, we were all looking at going, really? Though, I think I jumped on my high horse and started going, well, if bloody winemakers can make cask goon, surely. And we started talking about, well, maybe we'll put it in the goon sacks and boxes. And anyway, hopefully it's a little nicer than that.
Has it sold well? Is that why you're not tasting it?
Oh, yeah. So
put the suspense.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that answer too.
Which answer do you want first? Well, I'll do the quick one. So it sold out. It sold out immediately, along with the risolation. So they were just gone straight away. So that was great. It was a nice story, I think, too. Like we were really struggling to figure out how we would get through. There was a lot of other business stuff going on at that time with the bar shutting. And we just put on 4 new sales staff, took over our distribution nationwide, and I was like, oh, that's really bad timing. So, yeah, it was nice to make something positive out of it. And yet me not drinking, I haven't had a drink of alcohol for nearly 100 days. So
wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been 7 years.
Especially in the last, whatever in isolation probably feels like triple at least.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been worse. There was a lot of other things happening sort of personally for me as well. Nothing terrible, but just wasn't amazing. So it was a good time to be sober and get myself sorted out. And I don't really have any intentions of going back anytime soon. It's I'm drinking some non-alcoholic beer, which is delicious.
Okay. What are your picks?
Yeah, let me just see if I can sneak it in there without giving too much of it away.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Does that mean Dainton will be brewing a non-alcoholic beer in the future?
I've wanted to make one for about 3 years. It's been on my radar to make one. And I've looked into it extensively, and making a 0.5% one's probably not too difficult. I saw Ben in the background there. He'll probably know a bit about it too. And I must say, too, shout out to Benny there, that when I was starting to get into brewing, which was 12, 13 years ago, Ben was a really good help. So thank you, Ben. I haven't forgotten. So there he is.
Thanks.
So we've got a comment on your NEP on the pandemic punch from Marco. He said, goes all right, actually, fruity up front and nice bitter finish.
Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So,
and he's not dead yet, so that's good.
Well, we're not dead yet. We're on live. So.
I've already cracked the blood orange.
Yeah, okay, I'll start that. I'll save some for Simon so he can have some of my little leftovers. So.
So I'm finding them, like, one of my problems with some hop forward beers is they tend to be a bit sweeter, and I prefer a drier beer, and they're both pretty dry, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
Yeah, look, they're probably, and when I was in the States last year, like I didn't realise that there's a couple of different types or sub-styles of New England IPA, and one is that super duper sweet. I think they were saying we're on the West Coast, but they were saying sort of in and around Chicago and areas like that, they're really sweet, really full. Kind of neepers, whereas the West Coast style New England IPA, they are a little bit more bitter and a little bit more dry, and ours are probably a bit more in line with that. To me, it's got to be balanced. It's got to be, even if it's a hoppy, soupy kind of fruity beer, you want to have a couple. Well, I do anyway. If it's too sweet and too full, I find that goes against the drinkability of it.
Yeah, so for anyone that's not sure, and I had to look it up, a NEPA is a New England IPA, and it's traditionally pretty hazy and very aggressively hopped. Would you agree with that definition, Dan?
Yeah. Look, I think, apart from the look of it being quite murky, there's a reason why they are, and I think it's, when the style originated, it was, meant to be a fresh beer pulled straight out of the bright tank or out of the fermenter, or the uni tank, whatever, that was still, still had the yeast in it. There's some other technical reasons why the yeast is still in there. So for me, it's kind of more of a softer bitterness than a standard sort of IPA. So it's not really focused on that sharp, well, not sharp, but just more of that cutting kind of a bitterness that you get in a West Coast IPA. A bit more fruity, a bit more soupy. Probably just a bit more approachable, really, for people getting into IPAs.
Great. And I can taste the blood orange on your blood orange. So is there actual blood orange pulp in it, or how are you getting the blood orange character?
Yep. So there's it's blood orange. It's kind of like, is it pulp? It's kind of more like a puree. So it's 100% blood orange puree. It comes from America. So it's a company there that sort of does all that stuff.
All right.
Yeah. We
Does it come in frozen, or?
I don't think it does. No, I think it's aseptic. It's been I'm just trying to think if it's been pasteurized or not, but it comes across. It's extremely high in sort of sugar. So it's super concentrated. Yeah, I can't quite remember. Most of the stuff we make, uses, if it's fruity, it'll use something like that. Though there are a few that use the there used to be a company in Queensland that did frozen pulp. We used for a few things. It really depends. We'll go through and try and see what actually tastes best in the beer. Some things work well, some things don't.
And is that the same with your hops? I know Ben and Aaron for What's River Beers like to source the hop that gets the character that they want. So for one variety, they might choose the American version or the New Zealand version, depending on the characters that they're trying to get. So have you got a whole bunch of different countries of origin on the hops on these, or?
The pandemic's got a number of different beers. The blood orange is it's mainly American. There is I think one variety of Australian, and I think there's 3 American ones. So some of the bigger ones, what's in there? Citra, Mosaic. I think there's some Eldorado, and I reckon there's some. Which one is it? Is it Vic's Secret? Enigma, maybe. I can't quite remember what came stuck in it, but there is at least one. It used to be Galaxy. I'm not sure if we're doing it now. With the hops, look, they change, yes, from country to country, and from field really as well. So in America there are a lot of different hop farms and hop sort of producers. We found that we could get one from one company that tastes vastly different to another. So it's about having a bit of a play around, seeing how they go in the beer and trying to get the ones that are in the best condition. It makes a difference.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the cellar door find it surprising that the same hop can taste different from different origins, but it's very much an accepted fact in wine that the same grape will give up different characters depending on where it's grown. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think people, a general sweeping statement, but beer is still pretty new as far as having people explore all these different ingredients, whereas wine's certainly got a lot more history in Australia.
Like 80 years on us, maybe.
Yeah, well, look, in and around the way of it being perceived as a what would you call a boutique, crafty kind of thing. Beer seems to have been a mass-produced thing for a while in Australia, and it's certainly changed a little bit.
Yeah. Well,
which one? I'm finding this one a lot sweeter. Sweeter? Can that be?
Which one? The blood orange?
Yeah. No, blood orange one. I feel.
I'm definitely enjoying the blood orange. A bit more balanced for me, but I think that's understandable in the crafting of it, potentially. So what's your favourite beer to make?
I should ask Cam, who does most of our brewing. Man, look, I haven't made a beer on our big system since 2017. So,
wow.
Yeah, the last one I made was the Cherrywood Baltic Smoked Rye Porter, which was a massive 9% smoked dark lager, basically. It did break the mash tun and the false fell in, and it was right before we had 3 collaboration brews in a row for Good Beer Week. So
you've been banned since then?
Seems like it, yeah.
I'm not allowed to touch the gin bottles in the brewery anymore because every time I touch a gin bottle, it smashes on the floor. Yes,
only the expensive ones.
Sorry, hang on.
Only the expensive ones.
Yeah, the expensive gin. Marco, yes, you are, of course, allowed to ask questions. Ask away. If anybody's got questions, ask. Yeah, so my gin story is always, don't touch it. Becky's in the brewery.
Westy could send you a few free bottles, couldn't he?
You wouldn't ask him to do
that. How was Craig anyway? I haven't seen him in ages.
He's great. Really good.
Yeah, good.
I'm loving your gin. The gin's delicious. Have you tried the Cedar Fox gin?
I did, yeah. When it first came out, we got it at the bar, and we still have it, I believe. So
it's good. Yeah, it's very, very tasty.
Yes.
So, who does your artwork on your cans? Because that's one thing that I like. Ooh, whoops.
Is that gin?
I spilled it. Ah!
No.
Who does your artwork on your cans?
Yeah, Alex is his name, a local guy down in Frankston, Tyler Creative. So Alex has been doing most of our stuff now for 2-3 years, I think. So I work really closely with him. I'm still really heavily involved with the design of stuff and the branding. I think that's probably one of the most important things. Apart from having great beer, you've got to have a good look, and we've definitely been through a lot of different renditions in the past. Haven't always got it right, but yeah, Alex, he has a lot of sort of a couple of different ways he can do things, and I like his colourfulness, I suppose, and his playfulness he brings.
Yeah.
It's completely opposite to me just wearing black.
Very Melbourne of you.
I'm a dark kind of guy.
Got a
That's definitely
question.
my favourite colour. And Marco asked the question, there are 2 versions of the blood orange, one with rye and one without. What was the drive behind doing the 2 different versions?
Yeah, it's a really good pickup, actually. And there isn't 2 different versions. It's just we decided to take the name rye off the label of the new one. We just thought NEPA spoke a bit more to the market. I think we probably just forgot to put I don't think there's actually a blurb on it. It used to say it in the blurb. Yeah, so when we went to printed cans from labelled cans, we really had to cut it down and make it. It's actually a really big process to change it. It did not look right just to sort of stick the label back on there. So we played around with it a lot. I probably would have kept the rye on there, but I think, the vote was that, look, NEPA that was a thing. People knew what a NEPA was. They didn't know what a New England Rye IPA was. It's a lot harder to say. So the beer is exactly the same. It still has rye in it, about 6.5% rye. So not a lot. But yeah, really good pickup, Marco. Well done.
So do you have a lot of restrictions with the labelling direct onto can? So it's less, it looks to me like it's probably a less detailed print job on a can. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. Like, you can have up to 6 colours. I don't think you can have more. But yes, you are a little more restricted with it. Though, it's in the long run, we were making enough of it. It made sense, from a business point of view to get it into the printed cans. And up until about 6 months ago, Coles wouldn't take any cans with labels on it. They were like,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but they do now.
As they should.
So some people are really into their numbers when it comes to beers, and now, people who are watching this. So I've got the blood orange is 6% ABV and also 291 IBU. What else can you tell us that about the numbers on the blood orange NEPA?
Hopefully it's not 291 IBUs.
But I probably read it wrong. 29.
Where is it? I can't even see it on the thing.
It's down the bottom here.
Yeah, it's 29 IBU.
Sorry, I saw 291.
Would blow your face off, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, it would be. It's hard to get more than about 100.
Well
really.
done, getting 291.
That'd be good. It would taste a little bit more bitter. Yeah. Sorry, what was the question in the end?
Just the rundown on the further of the numbers that you get asked in terms of the beer, if you've got any handy, not just Plato, etc.
You want me to give you some more numbers on it?
Yeah.
Only if you want to. Don't feel pressured.
We always get asked.
I could tell you the recipe in binary if you want it.
No.
Nah.
No. Starts with a 1, ends with a 0.
Yeah, oh, funny.
Yeah, so I don't know what else I could tell you really about it. I can't quite remember the percentage of the grains in it. I think there's 4 different hops. There was at one point about 6 different types of malt. There is flaked oats. There's a little bit of wheat, some malted wheat, rye. We're using mainly pale. Just trying to think, there might be a little bit of light crystal as well. But yeah, it's been a while since I've looked at the recipe for it.
I think you passed the assessment quite well.
Yeah.
That's all right.
The yeast we use is it is a specially liquid yeast. It's a 1318 yeast. I think it's London Ale 3. So it's to get that real fruitiness into the beer, you need to be using a yeast that'll do that. I don't think is it called transmutation? I can't remember what it is, but it's some extra reaction that happens when you chuck the hops in early into the fermentation. So we're throwing hops in about 3 days and then about 7 days as well into the fermented dry hop. So yeah, you do get that really big fruit straight up.
Awesome. So your beer's available on your website?
Yep, it is. Yeah.
Are you still doing takeaway at your cellar door?
We do, yeah. Look, we get a few people come in. We try to get people to go to our local bottle shops. You know, we do a lot with Richie's IGA, so and you know, the bigger guys as well. But Richie's have looked after us from sort of day one, and their head office is a kilometre down the road, so we see them often. Yeah.
Awesome. And are you looking to, when the restrictions ease a little in Victoria with the 20 people in restaurants, are you planning a soft start? Do you serve food in Celador? Or not,
we do,
not willing to commit at this stage?
It doesn't make any sense for us to open for 20. I think 50 would be all right. But even then, like, we get full really quick. And to me, it's I'd prefer to wait until we had our full capacity, which I think is 110, 120. Just knowing what people are like, they rock up and say, "Sorry, you can't come in." It's, you know,
leaves a bad taste.
It does, yeah, yeah. You know, there's that there for us. I think could go the other way too. People are tonguing to get in there and
yeah. It's hard to know how it's going to feel on the other side.
It is, yeah. So we will see. But being a bigger venue where we get, you know, more than 20 in, and we do sort of get full, yeah, I just, whatever works for the punters, yeah, is where we would come from.
So do we have any further questions from anyone watching at the moment? Put it in the comments below, because we can move on to the next section of it where we talk about like any good things that we noticed in this week, because it's been quite a challenging time for a lot of local businesses, breweries and restaurants, and also accommodation providers. We talk about good things that we noticed in the past week, but we'll interject that with any questions that you have. So, Dan, do you have any highlights of the past week that you noticed that made you feel good, or like a positive thing that you kind of noticed that wouldn't have gone ahead previously?
Like out there in the wide world, or
anything nice. You saw a flower, or
does it have to involve other people? I've been at home.
Whatever made you feel like good.
What's that, sorry?
Anything that made you feel good.
Ugg boots.
I played my guitar a lot. That was fun. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I had a singing lesson, so that was good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I cooked some spaghetti. There you go.
Did you do the Nats What I Reckon spaghetti?
The what?
Oh, okay, don't worry.
Sorry.
It's all right.
It's a sweary guy on the internet.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm going to have it now. Okay. Yes, I can't think of anything. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know.
That's all very solid answers, more than one even.
Yeah, it's a good week.
We've been doing this 8 weeks now, so like 8 times I've got to come up with something nice.
Yeah.
I made pumpkin soup today, which I was quite pleased with. And it involved all of the creams, both normal cream and sour cream.
And double cream?
No, just normal cream. Sorry, Becky, I know that you can't partake in all of the creams.
Yeah, yeah, no, delicious. What about coconut cream?
You could. I didn't, but you could, yeah.
So my good thing is that we're starting to field inquiries for June in terms of accommodation, and the good thing about that is that people are feeling hopeful that they can actually move, and and just see a little bit of Australia with social distancing. So that felt good, because there's sort of a light at the end of the tunnel where people are caring and are conscientious of the responsibilities that we have in terms of introducing people to the local area, and so it's really great. Yeah, so I was just happy that happened. So yeah, it's good.
Good. Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dan, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Great to see you, and great to taste your beers.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And look forward to coming out and visiting Celador again when it's operational.
Yeah, we can meet in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will be on time, I promise.
I'm not believing you, frankly.
I'm so punctual normally. I can't believe it. But anyway.
You made it. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you very much. And yes, please let me know. You got my number now. Not that I'll ever answer my phone, but answer my email.
You did. You answered emails very quickly.
Yeah.
And on Friday we'll announce what we're tasting next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Reminder that we're selling the Mate's Case. It's in short supply, so if you want to get on board, if you buy by midnight, we're delivering tomorrow to Geelong and Melbourne free of charge. That's Watts River.
So
that's my plug.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Hanna. See you next week.
Bye.
Ooh, done. Return.